Hi guys, George here, and what I'd like to do today is provide you with a short video about Second Front. Now, Second Front is a video game. Right now, what I'm seeing on my screen is the good old logo for Microprose and the opening scene for Second Front. It takes a bit of time to load, and my computer is not that high end. After all I needed for is to do uh, some accounting, some Excel sheets, some Word documents, email correspondence, and Vassal doesn't take up a lot of space or a lot of memory. Um, Based on what I can see here, is that this little program, it's easy to download from Steam, very quick. The other important thing is that it doesn't take up a lot of space. But obviously, if you have a more high-end computer, it will run a lot faster than what you see here. That's what I really want to make clear. Now, the other thing that I want to make clear is that this is going to be a very short video. And specifically, what I'd like to answer is how much does this game resemble Advanced Squad Leader? So that's really the scope of my video. So in order to shed some more light and some more color, what I'm going to do is do the boot camp with you. And as you can see, I started playing the game, and I am enjoying it. Yeah, I am enjoying it. Um, I might be having some difficulty with my desktop audio, and everything might be a little bit choppy. But let's see if I can get my desktop audio to work here. Desktop audio to work, because part of enjoying the game is listening to the audio effects as well. So I want to go to tutorials. As you can see, I started a little scenario here and haven't finished it because I have too many commitments. And what I'd like to do is go to boot camp. If I can find boot camp. Oh, there's the scenario I want to show you. Boot camp, yeah, let's play a little bit. A little bit of playing. Bootcamp Advancing. In this tutorial, we will learn how to move your troops and an important tactic when moving. Our objective is to capture the building with the VP location. Continue. Now, I corresponded with the creator of this, or the programmer, developer of this beautiful program, Joe Batter, and he also created another um, program, a graphics program to create uh, ASL maps, more or less, or other wargame maps for that matter. So let's read the instructions here. Often, let's put on our thinking cap. Yep, we need this thinking cap here. We're playing the American, so let's see. Let's read this little screen here. Often it is far safer to use crawl or the advanced phase to move units into locations visible to the enemy. That's what I do in ordinary squad leader. We will demonstrate this by moving our units. Select group A using left click and then move them to the building as indicated by pointing to the indicated hex and right click to bring up the action menu and select the run icon to order the move. Now to see the better approach, select B, group B, and order them to walk to the indicated location and end your movement phase. In your advanced phase, select the troops at B in order them to move into the building and then end your advanced phase. Continue. I've never been too good at following instructions. When I was NCO school, the lieutenant kind of told me, on your way back to the base, gentlemen, be careful not to walk on the grass. And on my way back, lo and behold, I look across the field and there was a lieutenant shouting at me. And private, no, it wasn't private, no, corporal, corporal. Didn't we say we were not going to walk on the grass? And I'm there. I've been barely 3 hours in with my bars, and I'm looking at him like he has 10 heads. Who's he shouting at? And that I realized he was shouting at me. Um, not too careful with instructions. Therefore, what we're going to do is attempt to follow these instructions. Click on your target, and then move your mouse. Just don't click and drag. Just move your mouse to the location where you want to move your troops. And it kind of tells you the parameters of where they can move. And you notice the different shade of green? Well, the lighter shade is where he can see, or be seen, rather. And the darker gray is where your LOS stops. So you can see adjacent to the hedge, but not beyond the hedge, which is kind of similar to the rules in ASL, or classic squad leader for that matter. Now, you go to the target hex or the location where you want to move your troops, and then you right click, and then you have the option of double time, you have the option of walking or crawling, and I'm going to make everybody crawl there. Now, that's beautiful. Now, in this case, I moved 3 units, and it seems similar to stacking, but what if you want to move 1 unit at a time? What you do is left click in there, and then down here you unselect, you only select the units that you want to move. And let's see. Well, I have this dexterity issues, right? So it seems to want to point to the one in the middle, and then your you can either use the mouse keys, the mouse, or the keyboard arrow keys to shift the map around. So now I've selected only 1 unit, and I don't want to go through the road. Uh, I really like to go through there and then there. So let's try that. Let's try that. Now, remember, you got to right click as opposed to left click. You pick the action, and there they go. Now, that's the end of their move. Now we're going to pick another unit, and they're going to go into that building. And remember, you select one of the 2 units here, and now you right click in the target location or the location where you want to move your troops, and select the action. Now, similarly, when you want to choose a location where you want to fire, you have to hover over a location where you have line of sight and an enemy does exist, and then you right click and you have the option of different fire mechanisms. And then this is move and fire, which is similar to the ASL defensive fire phase. They're not exactly word for word and equal. And what I like also about this scenario is, or this game rather, is when you press the next button, you see the little Enigma machine thinking, which is really neat. It's really cool. Now, now you might say, hey, look, here's advanced phase, so I can move 1 hex like that. Again, you just shift your 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 cursor to where you want to target everybody. But of course, what I want to do is spread 3 units in 3 different hexes, right? So I want to go there, and therefore I'm going to select 1 unit to go there. Right click at the location, and he's in the shrubs. I got another unit here, so unselect one because I only want 1 to move out of the 3. I'm divvying them up into 3 different hex locations. Right click now, select that action with a left click, and they move there. Last unit, see now I've just broken up a group of 3 units into 3 different hexes. Right click, move. See, I told you I didn't follow the instructions. Oh, well, George, it will be what it will be. Oh, look, I have 1 unit in the building. So since I have 1 unit in the building, I'll select them and move them out in the open. I'm not sure. Are these Americans or Russians? Right? And right click, and here we go. So now I have 6 units in 6 different locations as opposed to having 2 stacks of 3 infantry. And you can't fire a group. You can't fire a group. In order to fire a group, you have to have them in the same hex. Adjacent is not good enough. So that's basically it. And then advanced phase after advanced phase, the Germans uh, take their turn. Recovery phase, that's when broken units rally. Broken units usually try to route um, to woods or buildings, regardless of interdiction. Now you might say, George, you've used all sorts of ASL terms over there. That was a move and fire, and they just took a victory location. Oh well, whoop-de-doo. You might say, George, you've already used a ton of ASL terms. Well, I used a ton of ASL terms because the game I mostly play is ASL, right? And and um, I think to note, I took a look at the polls, and 82% of my audience wants me to continue with more ASL content. So that's what you're going to get. That doesn't mean I won't from time to time do computer videos. Now, I've used all sorts of ASL terms, and just give me a chance to fire back. And I want to zoom into that board. I'm going to use what I do is I use my mouse keys, my mouse keys to position the map, and then the mouse wheel to zoom in. Okay. So this fellow here is not highlighted in blue, so he can't fire. This unit is broken. They were broken. Oh no, they're not. This unit is broken. There they are. That unit can fire, and there's two heavy machine guns there. So now I just selected the unit with a left click. I don't drag. I just put my mouse over my target hex and right click, and this is called targeting. So apparently I had a very small chance of hitting them. But they're only HMGs with crews, right? So let's see. Do I get any intel? They look like crew squads. So ideally I can engage them in close combat and eliminate them. Um, Fire number two, selected, right click, left click on the target, still missed. And over here, in this building, I believe I have two squads, so that should make a difference. I guess not. Hey, are they American or not? Where's my American firepower? Oh, that's all the fire I can get. Go on to next. Escape phase. Nobody's going. Oh, these guys are going to route. There's a good. Wow, they routed forward. That's awesome. That's awesome. They routed forward. They could have routed there, and they're going to have an opportunity to rally in the next phase. There it is. Whoa, we rallied. Now we got them flanked. How about that? I said it was going to be a short video, but this is move and fire, and I have a chance. No, no, don't do that, George. Oh, let's now crawl into there. I got a little leader there. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh well. Let's fire again. Oh, I broke him. All right. Now let's assault them. I can't. Well, if they're broken, what I'm going to do is just walk up to them. Oh. And next phase, they're going to go into close combat and eliminate them. Pretty simple. I can even fire at the target location. Point blank. Okay. All right. These guys are going to move into that building, and they're going double time. These boys, they already fired. So these folks are going to double time to the back. Right click. All right, so let's get on to answering the question. You kind of get the gist of how this works, right? All right, so to answer the question, let me just clarify that real combat and advanced squad leader have nothing in common, right? You walk away at the end of the day when you're playing squad leader. You may not walk away from a combat situation, period. Similarly, squad leader is a board game, and it mostly relies on the uh, human brain power to work. That's number one. Number two, let's not forget about Rule 8.2 that forgives human error. Right? You made a mistake. Hey, you should have been a better commander. The, uh, your opponent has um, a advantage over you. In this game, there is no Rule 8.2. The AI works, and it's meant to work without a flaw. So, in my opinion, it's not ASL. Does it make it a bad game? Not at all. Not at all. Now, this game has a few or a lot of merits. Okay? It has a lot of merits. And if we compare it to other tactical computer sims, what I see here is perhaps the graphics is not as detailed as in the Close Combat series, but what it doesn't have in graphics, it makes up with AI. Okay, so what you saw here only with the boot camp example is that the computer player, and you only are dealing with a computer player in this game, knows where the victory location is and knows where to attack and to take that objective before the enemy does. So it has an AI that may not be superior to your most devastating ASL opponent, but it has an AI that is relatively stronger than the other tactical computer games out there that I've seen so far and I've played so far, including my youth. And the last time I saw the Microprose logo pop up on my screen was well over 20 years ago, if not more. Let's say around 35. I'm showing my age, but anywho, that is what it is. So, in terms of AI, so far I've played 1.5 scenarios, and the computer opponent is something to be reckoned with. If you make a mistake, it will take advantage of that mistake and win. Um, that's how it is. Now, I had spoken to Joe Batter, I believe that's his name, the creator of this um, program, and I kind of um, asked him if I can do some QA work on that as well, and he told me that he took QA seriously. He is a former alma mater of Thomson Reuters, I believe, too, and I didn't have the time to commit to testing this scenario. And now that I'm looking at the GIs here on the screen, their uniform color is historically accurate, which is something that I like as well. So if you're looking for a game that has an AI that is relatively superior to every other tactical World War II computer game out there, this is a game that you should consider buying. Now, in terms of cost, you can get it off of Steam. It's currently on special. It set me back about 40 Canadian clams. And for those of you that are Canadian, chances are what 40 bucks can buy you these days is probably a 16-ounce steak, rib, and a couple of potatoes with mushrooms. That's about it. Just one meal. Maybe I'm exaggerating. And a beer would probably put you over budget. So, let's not get into politics here. Highly recommended game. And the beauty of it is that you also have a scenario editor. And you have a community that is creating scenarios. Now, if you want to learn more about this game, I suggest that you go over to Neil Euland's site, because he already created a 1 hour video. And I saw some other YouTube creators create videos about this game prior to it being released on January 31st, at least in Canada. So check them out. From my perspective, it is not ASL for a lot of reasons. Uh, However, having played other computer tactical simulations, so far I enjoy what I'm seeing. Uh, the creator put a lot of effort into it. It appears that in terms of QA, quality assurance, the homework was done because more often than not, I have played some tactical games where after an hour or two of play, um, a bug popped up. But so far, it seems to be relatively bug free, and the AI is really something you can handle and you'll enjoy. It will be challenging, but at the same token, you'll have realistic outcomes. And as you can see here, um, after 2 or 3 shots, um, due to the superior enemy, due to the superior firepower, I was able to break but not outright eliminate the squad and encircle them. And this is just a tutorial, so it's kind of easy. And the other thing that I like is that it's mouse activated and it's very intuitive as to how to use it. And if you don't know how to use it, you can just click on the help button and it tells you it has a lot of help in it. A lot of help. Yeah. Keyboard shortcuts. So if you're not at ease with the keyboard, you got, and you prefer, if you're not at ease with the mouse, you got the keyboards shortcuts, which is awesome. Look at that. You can pivot the map, scroll the map with QWEASD. There's a nice terrain glossary. So overall, I'm happy with my $40 purchase. I've purchased software for a higher price than this, and didn't get as much satisfaction as what I've gotten now. I'm not sure if I really answered um, the question completely or to your satisfaction, but I think that if you're comparing this to ASL, it's like comparing apples to oranges and not apples to apples and oranges to oranges, unfortunately. So if you ever do have a dry spell and you can't find an ASL opponent, and or you really want some solitude and you want to play on your own, it's a great game to have. Or if you prefer playing computer simulation rather than a board game simulation, right now I would say this is my number 1 game. My number 2 game would be Close Combat, and my number 3 game would be a simulation called Battle of West North, which is open source and free. So I hope I shed some clarity. I may create a scenario or just another video with one gameplay, and I'll continue providing you with more ASL content soon. Take care. George, over and out. Now, Michael Power, if you're watching this video, feel free to correct me if I didn't say that right, because in Greek we never said over and out, and I was never a radio man. Ciao.